my co host, Tishette Bradshaw, to another episode of Beyond the Break. Give yourself a fighting chance.
Happy Mindset Monday, everybody. We made it. We made it again and again. We get to do what we never did, go where we've never gone, and have all that we deserve to have in this lifetime. It's a great day to be alive.
It is a fantastic and amazing day to be alive. Attractive thinkers and visual encouragers, I trust that you have grasped that experience, that notion, that thought, that feeling about it being a great day to be alive because it is very true. And when you embrace it and you think about it, you begin to feel and express gratitude. Your mind begins to bring things to your attention to be grateful for. If you're breathing while you're listening to this message, it is a fantastic and amazing day to be alive. Today we're going to be talking about because let me slow down for a moment. These messages are created to support you in living life beyond a break, be it a break in a success or a heartbreak, an interruption in your life, something unexpected, something that you feel like you may not have been able to get over, something that caught you off guard. As a new and aspiring entrepreneur, these things happen all of the time. And just because I always say to my clients, just because you've decided to get a life doesn't mean that life is going to stop happening and give you a chance to do that. You have to reach your goals and work on yourself and embrace this journey as you go along. You can't stop. You can't say, well, and I'm familiar with it. I've had some clients to shut down through the years. I said, well, I'll write my book after I move, or I'll write my book after I get this job, or after I quit this job, or after I have a child, or after my child becomes an adult, or after my child graduates, or after I get divorced, or after I get married. I'll write my book after this event I'm about to host, or I'll write my book after Christmas, or I'll write it after the new year. And we need to understand as attractive thinkers that life is not going to stop happening so that you can write your book. You have to have the strength and the courage and the clarity and the determination to jump in to the sea of life and write your book as you go along. And in order to do that, you need mental tools, you need mental resources. And this is why we exist with Beyond the Break, because we want to show you how, in the midst of life happening, that how you can still keep yourself, keep your sanity, keep your goals, and not give up and persevere and still accomplish what you set out to accomplish in the midst of growing through life's challenges. So life beyond the break is an opportunity for you to see that there is life beyond a break. And Tashette and I, if you've listened to some of our other messages on our YouTube channel, Beyond the Break 2020, then you will see some of the other episodes that we created to help you understand our story and our journey and how we got here in this particular space in our lives to discovering that there is a life beyond the break, that there is more than what we're experiencing right now. There's more to life. Sometimes you can experience a defining moment and you feel like this is it. This is how my life is going to be going forward. Not so. We're here to dispel those myths and expose the truth behind vision and mental wellness, behind you having a goal and life happening. Because see, if you're not sure about who you are and your perception is not it is distorted and you haven't shifted your perception while on your journey, then it's easy for you to feel like what you're going through right now is a personal attack against you. It's easy for your self-worth to be on the table when you're going through something. Your self-worth is already established. It doesn't fluctuate. Your internal value does not fluctuate just because you're going through something. So today we're going to be talking about the truth. Sometimes, as a new and aspiring entrepreneur, or on your journey, or as a man or as a woman, or wherever you may be on your journey called life, You want the truth concerning yourself. You want to know who you are. That's a big one to shed. Our self identity, who we are, identifying with ourselves, because people are going to treat you the way you treat yourself. You know, people identify with you the way you identify with yourself. And if you don't know who you are, neither do they. We can't expect for others to know who we are when we don't know who we are. So, at different stages throughout our lives, we seek the truth. We want to know the truth about ourselves. Who am I? Why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing with my life? Where am I on my journey? Or why did I have to go through this or that or the other? We want to know the truth about the people in our space. Who are they? What kind of value are they bringing into my life? Should I go in this direction or that direction? At one point in our lives, we will have to sit ourselves down as truth seekers and discover the truth about these questions. But I want to shift a little bit, cause a shift in your perception a minute, and help you to understand that you have to beware of the truth. Because sometimes, if you're like me, when I was seeking the truth about a lot of areas of my life, I thought that that was what I was going to get, and that's it. The truth would just be revealed to me, and I would take that truth, govern myself accordingly, and move forward with my life. But the truth never comes alone. The truth never comes alone. The truth comes with some clarities, it comes with some courage, it comes with new goals. So expect your goals to shift when this new truth comes into your life. The truth comes with its own path and its own journey. The truth comes with courage and strength, because you're going to need that, because along with the truth comes responsibility. Now that you know the truth, you're responsible for the truth that you know. And taking responsibility means taking new actions and making some changes. Talk to us today, Touchette, about how entrepreneurs, new and aspiring entrepreneurs, attractive thinkers, and visual encouragers around the world should beware of the truth that they're seeking. They're seeking.
Absolutely. If you are a person who does not like change, then seeking after the truth
Mm-hmm.
will not be for you, right? Because it is going to shift and change some things. When you start seeking after the truth about life, who you are, what you are, why you are, what's going on, what's true, what's not true, everything but your worth is at the table. Everything. Everything you ever learned, at some point you got to put everything you ever learned, everything you thought you knew, everything you experienced has to come to the table and revisit it,
Mm-hmm.
right, in order to seek after the truth. Because sometimes our opinions can get so clouded and so cluttered with other people's opinions, with false teachings, with things that we weren't supposed to learn. It could get cluttered with trauma and that's been pent up, and emotions and different things that can cloud our perception of life, right? You might have been going through a heartbreak, and your perception might be cloudy right now. Your perception might say, this is all there is to life, and you might identify with that at the time of your heartbreak. But this is why Beyond the Break is here, so that we can make sure to shine a light on what life really is and how there's more to life than the break, right? There's a life beyond your heartbreak or breaking a success, as Dr. Tony explained.
Mm-hmm.
But when you start to um, try to understand truth, you have to be ready for some things. And one of the things you have to be ready for is things is not going to be what you thought they were. Things aren't always what they seem to be. And sometimes that's a good thing, and sometimes it's not. You have to take the good with the bad. Let's start with people, as I like to do sometimes. When you start assessing some of the people in your life, you start asking for truth, and then there's some people in your life that is being exposed.
Mm-hmm.
So you think that situation that you had with a friend who backstabbed you just happened coincidentally? No. That happened because you asked for truth and they got exposed. See, when you go cut the grass, you start seeing the snakes in the grass, right? And this is why you keep your grass cut. You start seeing who's who in your life. Just like when you start loving yourself, and this is another a truth seeking truth. When you start loving yourself, unfortunately, you also see who doesn't love you,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because when you start understanding your worth and your value, and you start gaining momentum in treating yourself better, and you start feeling your worth and understanding your worth and operating out of your worth, there's going to be some people that will come up against what you think you're worth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what your worth is true, but those people, you have to let them stay where they are, right? You can't look for other people to build your identity. That's for you and you alone. That's personal,
Mm-hmm.
right? Those other people, their opinion of you does not have to matter unless you make it matter.
Mm-hmm.
And you make it matter by focusing on it so much that you bring it into reality for you. You bring it into a truth if you take their opinion of you and you focus on it hard enough and you start repeating it in your mind, their opinion becomes your opinion of you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just not what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to have our opinion of ourselves, our identity of who we are at a soul level. Take that and build our life from our spirit and start allowing ourselves to be who we were designed to be in order to see your full potential. You're going to have to let some things go. So when you're truth seeking and you start looking at some of the people around you, there's some people you're going to have to walk away from, unfortunately. There's some people you're going to have to let go. There's some people you're going to have to break up with. And it's nothing against them. It's just, it is okay to move on sometimes. It is okay to outgrow some people, places, and things, right? And when you outgrow them, you don't feel guilty about it because life is changing.
Mm-hmm.
Life is changing. And so as you grow, things start changing and things start moving. And once you start truth seeking, nothing stays the same. The only thing that stays the same is your worth, because again, that doesn't change. And so when you start truth seeking, you start seeing some things about yourself. Let's talk about the things about yourself as well. You start they what they call shadow work, where you start seeing and facing your own self. You face your good, you face your bad, you face your ugly, you face the truth about you, and then you gotta accept it and forgive some of it and accept all of it, and then figure out what you want to do from there for yourself, right? So when you start facing yourself and some of those things come up, like I didn't respond to that situation properly, or I didn't realize I was so egotistical, or I didn't know that I was hurting people, or you have all these things that come up when you start truth seeking, right? Because it's not only when you start looking in the mirror, you're going to see yourself. But here's the thing, when you do see yourself, when you are exposed to the truth, what you do with it matters, right? And you have to operate under the right perception in order to make the kind of changes that is sustainable in your life. For instance, if you're looking in the mirror at yourself and you don't like what you see, you're not manipulating the mirror in order to change yourself. You got to go deep within in order to change what's in you. And once you change within you, then you'll see an outward change happen, because the natural mirrors the spirit. What's going on in the natural is often going on in the spirit. So when we start truth seeking, you got people, you got yourself, and now you got your surroundings. You start seeking the truth about your surroundings. You start seeking the truth about your teachings. You start seeking the truth, and there are some things that might not fit in this new part of your journey that fit in the last one. And that sometimes is hard to take in, because you thought this is how I thought my whole life, and now you mean to tell me that's not what this is? They told me from my childhood, this is how I'm supposed to be. And then I did all of that, and it didn't get me what they promised it would get me. And now they're telling me that I didn't even have to do all of that. I could just be me. And then you start feeling you will start feeling some resentment, but you have to resolve that resentment quickly. You start feeling as if you're running late. Again, you got to resolve it. You start feeling like you're left behind. You start feeling all these different things when the truth comes up. But when you're facing the truth, you face it with the right perception, you can resolve a lot of those things that's coming up. The whole goal is having the truth so that you can operate under the truth about who you are. Your life does not have to be miserable. It does not have to be sad. You do not have to live in the break. Your life does not have to be the break. You just have to understand that there's more to life than whatever just happened. And you got to push past it so you can live beyond the break and build your life in a way that you have never had before and be exposed to your true potential. When you start truth seeking, you start seeing some goodness about yourself too. You start seeing some power and some gifts. You start seeing some passion, some new things coming up. I'm 46 and I'm just seeing new passions come up that I've never seen before. You know, and it's amazing because I almost feel like a teen again, you know. And so when you start facing life, good things come up as well. You have to face the good, the bad, and the ugly, but beware because the truth is definitely going to shift and change things. And if you don't like to change, then the truth might not be the best thing for you. But if you want to see a change in your life and you're sick and tired of being sick and tired and through with being through, and you want to see yourself live out your full potential, then I suggest starting with the truth about you living beyond a break.